Book of the Days, January 16th. Born, Richard Savage, poet, 1697. Died, Edmund Spencer, poet, 1599. Edward Gibbon, historian, 1794. Sir John Moore, 1809. Edmund Loge, herald, 1839. The feast days are St. Marcellus Pope, martyr, 310. St. Macarius, the elder of Egypt, 390. St. Riotous, Archbishop of Arles, 429. St. Fursey, son of Fintan, king of part of Ireland, 650. 5 friars, minors, martyrs, St. Henry Hermit, 1127. We're going to skip down to the Bottle Hoax. On the 16th of January 1749, there took place in London a bubble, or hoax, which has somehow become unusually well impressed upon the public mind. A person advertised that he would, this evening at the Haymarket Theatre, play on a common walking cane the music of every instrument now used, to surprising perfection, that he would, on the stage, get into a tavern quart bottle without equivocation, and while there sing several songs, and suffer any spectator to handle the bottle. That if any spectator should come masked, he would, if requested, declare who they were, and that in a private room he would produce the representation of any person dead, with which the person requesting it should converse some minutes, as if alive. The prices proposed for these shows were gallery. At the proper time the house was crowded with curious people, many of them of the highest rank, including no less eminent a person than the Culloden Duke of Cumberland. They sat for a little while with tolerable patience, though uncheered with music. But by and by, the performer not appearing, signs of irritation were evinced. In answer to a sounding with sticks and catcalls, a person belonging to the theatre came forward and explained that, in the event of a failure of performance, the money should be returned. A wag then cried out that, if the ladies and gentlemen would give double prices, the conjurer would go into a pint bottle, which proved too much for the philosophy of the audience. A young gentleman threw a lighted candle upon the stage, and a general charge upon that part of the house followed. According to a private letter, to which we have had access, it is written by a Scotch Jacobite lady. Cumberland was the first that flew in a rage, and called to pull down the house. He drew his sword, and was in such a rage that somebody slipped in behind him and pulled the sword out of his hand, which was as much as to say, fools should not have chopping sticks. This sword of his has never been heard tell of, nor the person who took it. 30 guineas of reward are offered for it. Monster of nature, I am sure. I wish he may never get it. The greater part of the audience made their way out of the theatre, some losing a cloak, others a hat, others a wig, and others hat, wig, and swords also. One party, however, stayed in the house, in order to demolish the inside. When the mob breaking in, they tore up the benches, broke to pieces the scenes, pulled down the boxes, in short, dismantled the theatre entirely, carrying away the particulars above mentioned into the street, where they made a mighty bonfire, the curtain being hoisted in the middle of it by way of flag. There is a want of explanation as to the intentions of this conjurer. The proprietor of the theatre afterwards stated that, in apprehension of failure, he had reserved all the money taken, in order to give it back, and he would have returned it to the audience if they would have stayed their hands from destroying his house. It therefore would appear that either money was not the object aimed at, or, if aimed at, was not attained by the conjurer. Most probably he only meant to try an experiment on the credulity of the public. The bottle hoax proved an excellent subject for the wits, particularly those of the Jacobite party. The following advertisement appeared in the paper called Old England. Found, entangled in a slit of a lady's demolished smock petticoat, a gilt-handled sword of martial temper and length, not much the worse of wearing, with the spey curiously engraven on one side, and the shide on the other, supposed to be taken from the fat sides of a certain great general in his hasty retreat from the battle of the bottle noodles in the Haymarket. Whoever has lost it may inquire for it at the sign of the Bird in Singing Lane in Potter's Row.